Hello and welcome to Frank and Karim Talk Film. I'm Karim Hussain, joined by my lovely co-host Frank Bono.
How's
So
it going,
today we are going to be talking about this movie. It's out. Apparently, it's pretty important. Avengers Endgame. So Frank, what are your initial thoughts on the movie?
Well, initial thoughts right away. It's probably the most well-acted film of all 22 Marvel films. I mean, I think every actor brought their A game.
Okay.
From Scarlett Johansson all the way down to Nebula, Karen Gillan.
Yep.
The story was outstanding, and that's just a benefit of these 22 films that we've had. It was incredible. We'll get more into that. You felt the stakes. You felt the stakes already going into the movie just because of Infinity War, and again the overarching 22 movie story arc. The score, Alan Silvestri's score is incredible. Okay.
Yes.
That ending, we'll talk about that. It just moved me to tears. Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to the story. I gotta give big props to Marcus and McFeely, the writers of the movie. They wrote Infinity War as well. Just it all meshed well together. It made sense to me, even though we go into time travel type movies. Sometimes it'd be convoluted. Yes, there's gonna be some little plot holes here and there, but I feel like they explained it to a point where I understood it. There's one thing that is missing in the time travel story, which we'll get into. But for me, but overall, I threw away the nitpicks, and I just thought it was a great film. A+.
Here's my initial thoughts. I enjoyed it upon first watching it, but I found myself very distracted by the whole time travel scheme.
Okay.
Part of it was probably because I expected it to go in a different direction and it didn't go the direction I wanted.
Okay.
Part of it was that I just didn't care.
Kind of like The Last Jedi feel.
Oh my god, don't get me started on The Last Jedi. For those of you at home, The Last Jedi might be the worst movie ever made.
That's another.
So my initial thoughts were, I thought it was brilliant. A lot of the things that you described were great in it. The performances were great. I thought it might have been a little bit too long. The opening sequence is a little bit drawn out. The whole, 5 years later, Captain America is at this support group for people. Iron Man has a family now. That I thought could have been condensed a little bit more. It's a little less exposition. Tony had 3 swan songs. I could have done with 2, maybe even just 1. The expectations from the movie preceding it, Infinity War, were that the stakes were really, really high. And I don't feel as if the stakes were that high in this movie, especially once you introduce something like time travel, because you can just go back and fix any of your mistakes. So while I do think that this movie wrapped up everything kind of succinctly and neatly, I don't think that it was the best Avengers movie, and actually I have Endgame coming out of my top 10 Marvel movies.
Wow.
So,
I feel like you should sit. I feel like how many times have you seen it?
I've seen it 1.5 times.
You walk it out in a second time?
Well, we won't. The second time is a little long story. We won't get into that here. But I've seen it enough.
Okay.
And I plan on seeing it again.
I think you should, dedefinitely.
What about you?
So I've seen it. I've seen it twice. Definitely the second time around. First of all, I mean, if you just want to go into rankings real quick, I find it sitting at third for me. Okay, so Infinity War is number 1. The original Avengers is my number 2, and now Endgame.
Yeah.
And again, Endgame has I don't care, but it still benefits from the overall story arc, right? My excitement for the film, my knowing wanting to know what's going to happen to these characters that we loved so much for the past 12 years, has it been?
Something like 10.
2008, I think Iron Man came out. Anyway, and Iron Man is my favorite character too. Yeah. So just to throw that out there. So I loved what they did with him. I always knew that he was always going to be the central story arc character of the film. He is the heart and soul of this film, and they ended it that way. Yeah,
I heard a rumor that Robert Downey Jr. might be nominated for an Oscar for this role, which
I think he should be nominated for an Oscar because
plausible.
I mean, he again.
It's not the style of movie that normally gets nominated for Oscars nowadays.
That's bullshit. I mean, Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture last year.
Yeah.
So I think Robbie Downey Jr. he captured everything, every emotion I was feeling in that film. I was with Iron Man. Okay, what do you do? He's got a kid for 5 years. What do you do? Why even go back in time? He's got a life. He's got a kid. I mean, his pain when he came back from the ship. First thing he says to Captain America, "I lost a kid," and his just anger and just tell him, "I told you guys. I told you we needed armor around the world. This was going to happen." Ever since that portal came up in New York, it all came together. And his dream, his dream sequence he had with everybody dying. I mean, it was just like to a T, and then his death scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
he even has the "I am Iron Man."
Listen, I'm just going to say this right now. That death scene really, really got me. I mean, I wasn't in tears. I wasn't even in man tears, okay? I was a quivering, lip-shaking mess. Combined with that score of Alan Silvestri, which mimicked Castaway. I don't know if you've seen Castaway.
I've seen Castaway, but I didn't recognize the score.
If you could check out Castaway when you get a chance, especially like the ending of it, and just that score he does, and it just it grabs you by the heart. And then that ending, just that little one more twist of the knife in your heart with Happy talking to Morgan
about the cheeseburgers.
And she talks about the cheeseburger, and you just knew immediately what that meant. Going back to the first Iron Man when he first called out, "I am Iron Man."
Yeah.
Whew. So it really stuck with me. I know a lot of people do. I have heard a lot of people struggle with the ending a little bit, his death, maybe But for me, I thought it was perfect. So.
Cool. All right, on to question number 2. So, Frank really loved the direction that the movie went in. Mm-hmm. I kind of wish that it would went in a different direction. So, question number 2, what direction would you have liked the movie to go in, or did you think the movie would go in prior to watching? So, this is my basic rundown of what I thought was going to happen in Endgame. So, at the end of Infinity War, you have this great sense of dread, right? Thanos snapped his fingers.
He won.
Yeah, exactly, right? Mm-hmm. I would even argue that Thanos was the main character of Infinity War.
It was his story. I 100% agree.
Which is why people loved it, I think, right? You don't ever get to see a Marvel movie in which the big bad wins at the end, right? So something that I loved about it is that there's this feeling of permanence and there's this feeling of actual consequences, right?
Right.
That maybe the heroes might not make it back from this one. Mm-hmm. So that feeling of dread was great. I wish they would have continued with it. So in my version of Endgame, instead of going 5 years, they go for a few months, right? They're trying to find a solution. They're trying to get the Infinity Gauntlet back and snap everyone back, right? Because if you could snap everyone out of existence, you could just as easily snap everyone back into existence. Okay. So Iron Man develops a device that tracks Thanos, right? He maybe gets some help from Guardians of the Galaxy, the ones that are remaining. Maybe gets some help from Captain Marvel in order to figure out where he's gone in the universe. So Thanos, his army being depleted, right? The snap also kills half of his army. Yeah. He's going to recruit new bads, especially new big bads, right? Mm-hmm. So then you get a montage scene of all the remaining Avengers and Captain Marvel reuniting. Whoever's left will get there. The wizards who are part of Doctor Strange's group, get there. So Captain Marvel, maybe she hears some grumblings about Thanos recruiting a new army, and that gets everybody psyched up to go and take him down, right? So instead of having this sort of time travel thing, which, again, adds a lot of additional exposure to, like, plot holes and just complications, it's more of a linear story. Hey, we defeat Thanos with a new plan, we take the Infinity Stones, we snap everybody.
So Thanos didn't destroy the stones. They're still around. Yes. You want to get the stones back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought
I had a problem with that too.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. I used the stones to destroy the stones. Yeah. So let's see. So then we'll get like a funny sequence of all of them trying to come up with different strategies for how to beat Thanos. Alien was referenced in Infinity War, so maybe they try to go through the movies.
I forgot to mention that.
Maybe they go through the movies and they're coming up with different strategies.
There's a scene in Endgame too that referenced aliens.
Oh, did it?
Remember the scene with Hawkeye and the aliens down the hallway? That was a direct reference to aliens. They go up in the ceiling and those aliens come in.
That's right.
So,
you know,
just so you know, you folks out there, Russo brothers love the alien movies. Okay,
of course.
Karim, I'm sorry.
Right. So let's say they get to a new planet. Thanos is there. There's a battle, but he escapes. Mm-hmm. But they put a tracker on his ship now. Now they know where he's going.
Okay.
So they have to create an individual plan for each stone, I would imagine, right? So Captain Marvel could most easily counteract the Power Stone, I think, or I thought. Mm-hmm. Her offense is just more straight energy power. She's up there destroying the ship while everyone's fighting on land. I think Wang could have taken the Time Stone. Tony could have taken the Reality Stone. Cap could have taken the Soul Stone. Thor could have taken the Space. Gamora could have taken the Mind Stone.
I like Cap taking the Soul Stone for one reason.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Well, he's worthy, right?
Well, not just that. Red Skull. I mean, how great would it have been to see Red Skull interact with Cap
again?
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Now, I'm liking it so far.
So they track Thanos to their home planet. There's a big brawl. Then you get kind of the noble sacrifice from Tony and Cap, right? Because they were probably the most likely to not make it at the end of this movie,
right?
And so I would have liked kind of a noble sacrifice between them. Kind of get like the trade-off, old for new. Mm-hmm. Tony sacrifices himself in order to snap back Spidey or some of the other ones.
Yeah.
The battle sequence is tight, it makes sense. They defeat Thanos, they snap, they have people back, but then they have to deal with the army. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of have the two battles simultaneously. The people who are snapped back, Black Panther, Spidey, all the rest, Doctor Strange, they're battling Thanos' army on Earth, while the rest of the Avengers on Thanos' planet are trying to defeat him or go on with him. Then Captain Marvel or somebody else, maybe Thor, destroys the stones afterwards, and that's it. Okay. So I mean, obviously, there's a little bit more details in there, but
makes sense.
The main point is that you're not
dealing time travel.
Exactly, right?
So you took time travel out.
Well, here's my other thoughts on time travel, right? Which goes into our third question: thoughts on time travel. Mm-hmm. When you introduce time travel, you're introducing a whole nother set of rules and regulations. How are you going to govern time travel, right? What made it worse for me is that right after they talk about time travel, they mention 15 movies in which there's fucking time travel.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh, come on. Yes, but at the same time, in the audience, I'm like, really? Really? I'm watching a movie, which you're going to have Deus Ex Machina, fucking time machine.
They have Back to the Future and
now you talk about Back to the Future and Hot Tub Time Machine? Come on. Yeah,
I agree. Now, here's what I think about the time travel. Okay, first of all, with the direction, more talking about the direction of what the movie took. I saw the movie in 3 acts. Okay, to me, it was almost three separate movies. Okay, and again, I'm not taking away. I thought that's a good idea. Obviously, I thought everyone knew it was going to do time travel, quantum realm, whatever. We knew that, but I like your idea because I thought initially wait, Thanos destroyed the stones? If you destroy the stones, those are the essence of existence. Mm-hmm. So if you destroy all the stones, how are they surviving? And that creates a huge plot hole because what does the Ancient One say when they're in New York and Hulk is talking to her? You take one stone out, it creates a different
branch of reality.
Okay? But, and I like this. This is the part I like, but it still has its plot holes. I agree. I thought Banner, if you watch it the second time through, you pay a lot more attention to the dialogue, right? Mm-hmm. And I paid extra careful attention to everyone's dialogue, especially that scene. So what Banner says is, it doesn't matter. You can give me the stone now. It does not matter because I am going to come back and put the stone exactly where it is. Mm-hmm. And reality will go the same. Well, our future is not going to change. What happened. That's not going to change.
Yes.
We just need these stones.
Yes.
So, but now...
I remember seeing that scene and thinking to myself, I would like to watch this scene.
Yeah, again. Watch it again. Really watch it again because in the second time through, it did make more sense to me. But they kind of flopped that again when Loki disappeared.
Exactly. That's what I was just about to bring up.
Loki grabbed the Tesseract, disappeared.
Then he's gone.
In that current timeline,
yes.
And they never returned that stone.
No. Well, they go back to a time even before that.
Well, you know what?
And
I just kind of thought of something.
Yeah.
That stone is still in that timeline.
He
has it.
Exactly.
They didn't take it.
It creates an alternate universe in which Loki is now alive.
Okay, so I kind of just counteracted my own point here. I think that still works because Loki, yes, he took the Tesseract.
Yes.
But that stone was never taken away from that alternate timeline. That timeline. So it still works as long as they returned the stones.
Yes, but now Loki has created an alternate timeline.
He has. He definitely has, and I think that's what's going to be his
exactly.
plus.
It gives them an opening in order to make a Loki series or a Loki standalone. Mm-hmm. It's a way for them. It's a way for him to be dead without actually being dead.
So in continuing with my thoughts on the time travel, I mean, overall, especially just kind of figuring out my own little plot hole there, I thought it worked. Now the ending, okay, I've been having arguments with some other friends about this, some other people that love the movie, and now I don't know if you know this, but Cap took 4 Pym particles when he went back to 1970s. Okay,
yes.
They clearly established when they were in 2012
mm-hmm.
New York, Tony and Cap, they lost the stone, gone. They can't get it in 2012. Well, when can we get more Pym particles and the stone again?
Yes.
Well, they can just go back, right? Then you get more Pym particles to jump back, but that's all they can do. It's key that they did that, because here's my thoughts on Captain America in the ending, right?
Yeah.
I think he actually had 2 extra Pym particles that nobody ever knew about. As soon as he saw Peggy back in the 1970s, he had his own plan. He's like, I'm coming back here and I'm living my life. He thought that right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he didn't grab 2. He didn't grab 3. He grabbed 4. Right? So he created himself 2 extra jumps after he brought the stones back. And I don't know if you know this, but he brought the hammer back too.
Yes.
He brought everything out of that
because it was destroyed in Ragnarok.
Right. Not only that though, he had to bring the hammer back to the Dark World timeline because Thor took it. Mm-hmm. Anything significant, got to bring it back.
Exactly.
So what I think what Captain America did, and this is still up for debate. People think he lived his life all the way through, knew exactly what time to be back at that bench, and just walked up old. I don't think that happened. Okay? Mm-hmm. I think he used the last jump to get back to that point. He lived his life with Peggy, right? After Cap was there. He died in the ice, or he got frozen in the ice, gone.
Yeah.
Peggy, I'm not dead. I'm here. Mm-hmm. I'm from the future. He probably even told her I'm from the future.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Why not?
They lived their life, because remember, if you don't remember, during Avengers, Peggy was sick in bed. She had Alzheimer's. He went to go see her. Yeah. She was pretty much gone, right? I think around that time, he jumped back. Because guess what? Captain America comes back. Mm-hmm. That's when he wakes up from the ice in 2012.
Yeah.
So he didn't mess with his own timeline at all. He lived out those years.
Yes.
From the time he went into the ice after World War II, whatever, the Hydra stuff, didn't care about anything else. He lived his life with Peggy, maybe had some kids, lived out, had to jump back. He had to jump back no matter what.
Yep.
So the more I talk about it, the more I think about the time travel, the more it worked for me, and the more it fit, and the more I like this movie, to be honest with you.
Look, I don't disagree that the time travel was well done in terms of time travel. Mm-hmm. I just disagree with the whole philosophy of having time travel in the movie. Because here's what I think you could have done. You could have used the quantum realm in order to go to a different dimension. Maybe in that other dimension, there's another Thanos, and his snap killed the other half of people, right? Mm-hmm. So you have a dimension in which Iron Man and Cap were snapped out of existence, but Spidey and Doctor Strange and Black Panther lived, right? Somehow you fuse those 2 dimensions and you create a new one with everyone together. That way you still have the permanence, you still have the consequence.
Yeah.
Thanos still won, but technically you're living again with the people and things are right.
Yeah.
But you still have the weight of his decision on you.
And how they talked, they brought the younger Gamora back, right?
Yeah. Which,
okay, they made sense at that point, but why not, if you can do that, go get Black Widow. Go get,
Yep, yeah. Prevent them from dying in the first place.
Yeah.
What I thought was funny was that, Pym particles are very valuable, but Black Widow kind of just jumped off a cliff with one of them in her bag. Presumably, she had one to make it back, right? Did she not? Didn't she say, "Oh, hey, here, take these very valuable pimp particles"?
They probably skipped one line of dialogue would have worked, right?
Something.
I guess that's a good point.
Maybe.
But either way.
I thought that was one of the best scenes in the movie, actually. Right?
Okay.
Because it's kind of that sort of, something bad's about to happen. Because, you've seen the whole Soul Stone sequence before.
Yep.
One of them's not going to make it. You don't know which one. I thought it was going to be Hawkeye because they'd set him up as kind of like this
family guy.
This Ronin, this kind of like he's above the law or beyond reproach sort of thing. So seeing him sprint to the cliff and then only to have that switched out the last minute with Black Widow. Okay. I thought that was an unexpected and good moment in the movie.
Now, what sucks, I didn't mention this up top, but unfortunately, I was spoiled for this movie.
Were you really?
I was spoiled.
So I know you told me that you got a text that that there was a spoiler. You didn't tell me what the spoiler was.
So I got two things spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Okay. One, Cap getting old.
Okay.
All right.
That's a strange one.
Which in actuality, if I was watching the film without knowing that and seeing when I saw Captain America see Peggy, and I saw him grab two extra pins, I kind of had an idea. I probably would have had an idea that that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Still sucked, right? The other thing was Black Widow getting
Oh, really? Not Iron Man?
No, okay. I did not. I had an idea, obviously, it's one of those two were going to die. Or I didn't, because after hearing that Cap was going to grow old, maybe that was it. No, maybe they both weren't just going to die, but Cap is technically still gone because he's old, right?
Yeah.
But Black Widow dying, man.
Yeah,
I was so mad because that would have made that, because I knew. All right?
Oh yeah, because
I wonder what's going to happen, right? That would have been a nice little tense moment.
No, for me, it was one of the best scenes.
It was great. Because you knew what was going to happen, and I always kept thinking like, well, Nebula knew, but no, she didn't. Nebula in Infinity War. The scene when they're fighting Thanos and he's under control of Mantis. Peter's like, "Where's Gamora?" Nebula's like, "He came back with the Soul Stone." She didn't.
Yeah.
I thought she knew already. Oh, she probably knew. You traded it.
Yeah.
But she did not know because she wasn't there for the dialogue. She didn't know that you had to sacrifice somebody to get a stone back.
Yeah.
And that reminds me, a soul for a soul, right?
Yes. So when he returns the soul stone, can't you get the soul back? Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
It's a soul for a soul.
Yeah.
And I know Hawkeye kept saying you can't undo it. You can't undo it. Well, why?
Yeah.
Ask that red.
Ask the red.
I mean, he pretty much told Thor, go over there, ask that red guy. Tell him why you can't. That would make sense because I thought for sure in like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 plot, and we can talk about that more at the end.
Yeah.
Was going to be trying to get Gamora back, which it is going to be. But she's alive.
Yes.
Or like them taking the Soul Stone back and returning it and getting Gamora back.
Well, the past Gamora is alive, right? So there is a Gamora.
No, there's Gamora. She's living in her current timeline.
Yeah.
That's why Peter said searching, right? But I don't want to get off topic. So real quick, for my best scene, I'm going to cheat. Yep. I got to cheat, man.
Well, best scene in the film.
Yeah, best scene. So it's got to be the last hour of the film.
The last hour?
The last hour.
That's not a scene. You mean the battle sequence?
Okay, fine. Yeah. Cap taking the hammer.
Cap taking the hammer. Okay, yeah.
Once, because here that entire battle, and I know that's going to be we'll talk about that a little more in the future, but that entire scene with fighting Thanos. Okay, I have a couple of things to say about it. Right?
Yes.
I have to bring up the overpowering. I know we're going to talk about that too, but I have to talk about because that's my best scene.
Yeah.
I'm all for the action, right? Yeah, we went through all the dialogue. Okay, fine. Second, finding it, the heist, great. Finally, I want to see them fight. Right?
Yeah.
One, I'm going to say a couple of things. One, Thanos was younger. Okay, I know it doesn't mean a lot, but he was.
Okay.
Two, he has full armor on. Okay, that armor is all full of vibranium. His weapons all vibranium. Why it's so powerful?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Do we not remember that he just completely dismantled the Hulk in Infinity War in the first scene? He did not use a stone.
Nope.
He did not use any stone.
Straight up fist fight.
He took care of Hulk like that. You think the Avengers can take care of the Hulk?
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Thor had both the Stormbreaker and Hammer. How badass was that, too?
I know. Well, it's like, you take the little one.
Yeah, you take the little one. So, what was great, I don't know if you caught these callbacks. So, do you remember in the original Avengers, the very first time we had Cap, Thor, and Iron Man together in the woods? What happened?
They
were subtle. Do you remember Thor?
He gets
electrocuted.
Yes,
Iron Man. What does it do?
Overpowers his suit.
It makes his suit 500% stronger.
Yeah.
Guess what they did in this fight?
Yep.
Shot lightning at Iron Man's suit.
Yep.
Boom. Right.
Yes.
Did you know what else they did? Remember when Thor put the hammer down on the shield and it caused that vibration?
Yes.
They did that again in this scene.
Yeah. So they've learned.
When Thor threw the hammer, when Cap was wielding the hammer and his shield, he used that both.
Yes. Yes.
Unfortunately, Thanos took Iron Man and blocked it. But man, it's just those
Thanos
little,
also destroyed the shield.
Little subtle details. I've always known when that scene in Avengers happened, they were going to use that, and they did in like Avengers 2. I think like Thor like hit the shield, stuff like that. Anyway, that kind of stuff gets me going.
Yeah,
and that just nerds me out, man. When these great characters are working together. It just makes me the happiest little boy inside of me come out, right?
Yeah.
So that was my favorite scene, and yes, we'll talk about more of the overpowering, but I think it kind of made sense. I mean, I think that's why he showed Thanos overpowering Hawk so easily in Infinity War. This guy he's a powerful being, right?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. He had all the stones in Infinity War, but he was
also able to control all of the stones and not die.
Right. Right. Exactly. So. I don't know, that's my scene. Last hour of the film, but the fight with Thanos was my favorite scene of the movie.
Nice, good choice.
Yeah.
So my favorite scene in the film, and there were a couple that were up there for contention. I really enjoyed the opening sequence where you see Hawkeye. He's out there with his family.
God. Who didn't know that was going to happen?
Right? You know what's going to happen, but it's still
hits
harrowing seeing it. Right?
Yeah.
He's calling out for his kids after they've been dusted, and it's like, oh, fuck.
Perfect.
I was like, wow, this is a pretty dark beginning for a Marvel movie.
The first time I saw it, I didn't see the dust until the second time I saw it. Where I saw when you look back, it's just the Archer, and it just flutters. Yep. Oh man.
So I thought that scene was great. I thought any scene with Rocket was great.
Dude,
but
Rocket.
Bradley Cooper is fucking fantastic.
They made a raccoon one of my favorite characters in the entire
absolutely.
MCU. He is great. Yeah, and Bradley Cooper, I need to see him doing the voice.
I would love to see him do the voice.
I think you can YouTube it. You're able to see him voice him. But go ahead.
So my favorite scene in the movie is when the Avengers who are surviving, they go to the farm that Thanos is at. Kind of like in the first quarter of the movie. Man. Very early on.
The first 20 minutes.
Yeah, very early on in the movie.
It was great.
And Thor is there, and Thanos is describing what he did, and then Thor just decapitates him, right?
Went for the head.
I went for the head, right? What did you do? I went for the head.
They had to do that.
So at that point in time, I was like, this movie is going in a completely different direction than I thought it was going to go. So because of that twist and because of just the way it was done, throwing you for a loop, that's my best scene in the movie. So where does the Marvel Universe go from here? I gotta tell you, I got really, really excited at the battle sequence.
Okay.
When the wizards are portaling in all the different armies from across the universe.
That was awesome. At
first, you just see a shadowy figure, and he has kind of like two wavy things. And I thought for a split second, I was like, is this Wolverine? Is this how they're going to do it? Is this how they're going to do it?
No way.
Then it was Black Panther. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess that makes more sense.
Yep.
But there are a whole bunch of things. There are a whole bunch of elements that are introduced in this movie that will lead to future Marvel movies.
Absolutely.
So one of them is Loki being off in his own universe.
Yep.
The one that I am personally the most excited for is Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy. That is the best combination. I love
and
every
real
scene
quick,
with them.
People want to say that there was no end credit scene. To me, that's the end credit scene.
Right, setting up for all the other movies.
How awesome is that? These guys work so well together. Once you got that scene in Infinity War, and him playing off Peter Quill and him mocking his voice, oh my god!
Don't worry, we all know who the captain is. Here.
I think it is the perfect fit. And just to let you know, Chris Hemsworth signed 2 more deal for 2 more films. So
perfect.
We're gonna get Thor from.
Thor
he wants to be
Thor.
Thor.
Yes.
So yes, I completely with you.
Okay, well, to kind of detract from that a little bit, what do you think of Fat Thor?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Did you?
Here's why. Okay, yes. And it goes back to the 3-act story arc of the entire film. Right. The entire time you got Thor, all powerful, strong. When he fails, he does not take it well. Think of this character's overarching story. Okay.
Okay.
He lost his mom.
Yes.
He lost his dad.
Yes. He killed.
Asgard is gone, decimated. Okay.
Yeah.
His brother he lost 3 times.
Yeah, I guess
4 times, right? So when he ultimately fails at killing Thanos, when he could have easily done it with Stormbreaker and chopping off that arm, it killed him. It completely. He has no hope for going forward. He failed, right? And what does he do in that failure? He lets himself go, right? He lets himself go. He doesn't fight anybody. It's 5 years later. He's been doing nothing but drinking. And by the way, I thought it was kind of cool callback as well because he's drinking in Thor Ragnarok. Guess who's the drunk? Valkyrie. Valkyrie's
that's right.
The first time we see Valkyrie, she's a drunk.
Yeah.
She's falling off the ship.
Yep.
Guess who turned her around? Valkyrie. Guess who's the drunk? Thor. So he let himself go.
Yeah, I never really thought about it like that before, but yeah.
And what's funny as well is that I think, I swear to God, I think in the first 10 minutes of Guardians of the Galaxy, we're going to get like a training montage between Peter Quill and Thor getting back in shape. Because if you remember Infinity War,
80s
he's like, you know what? They're making fun of him that he's fat.
Yeah,
Peter getting kind of big. He's like, you know what? I'm going to commit. You get a bull flex?
Exactly.
I'm going to do this.
One of the best scenes in
Peter Quill and Chris Hemsworth are going to be great together.
Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth,
the 2 Chris's together with
2 of the 3 Chris's.
with Bradley Cooper, with Drax. I mean, it's
Guardians
of the Galaxy, and thank God, they came to their senses, and we got James Gunn back. Yes. James Gunn is one of the only persons who knew that he was going to get Thor and Guardians of the Galaxy. That was always the plan.
Well, I also liked Taika Waititi's Ragnarok.
Absolutely.
Well, there's
going to be another
Ragnarok
Thor.
And Guardians of the Galaxy are kind of similar tonally, and so I think that they mesh well.
I think it's a perfect way to get Thor back into his back into his fighting arc. He's not going to be a lazy bum.
Well, here's what I think about Thor being fat. I liked it at first. I thought it was funny, and then I kind of got over it really quickly.
I did it
because here's the thing. Yes,
Megan Court.
Yes, he doesn't take failure well, but at the end of the day, he's still Thor. He's still noble. He still has the qualities that make him a god, that make him worthy.
But does he though? I mean, especially in Thor Ragnarok.
I think he does.
He's got that. Or even in the original Thor, like he was always a cocky, I could kill anybody,
but he kind of the first movie kind of is him getting over that, right?
Sure.
And he cuts the hair and he loses the eye. And, he matures over all this time.
Okay.
For him to kind of turn his back on the world and become a drunk, kind of doesn't really fit with this character that you think about, right? Mm-hmm. His nobility, mostly.
Yeah.
So, while I thought it was funny at first, hey, man, you want to get on the Wi-Fi? Right?
Man.
Right?
I loved it.
I grew tired of it relatively quickly, almost to the point where he goes back in time and he's like, he's not going to extract the stone from Natalie Portman. And I'm like, he needs to get a lecture from his mom. Also, all the people that they meet in the past are conveniently very like, oh, you must be from the future, right? So the woman from Doctor Strange is like, oh, you must be. Oh, you're 5 years too early.
That was my
his mom. Oh, you must be from the future.
That was you're bringing me back to my number 2 scene of the entire thing was seeing Tony with his dad. By the way, I thought that was great because every time the Tony Stark's story arc was his dad was never proud of him. He felt like he could never eclipse him. He's never going to be good enough for him. And he finally got that closure. He was able to tell his dad that he's got a kid, right?
Yeah.
You got to agree. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to go past from that. But also with Thor and seeing his mother, it almost makes me want to see the shittiest movie in the entire MCU. Again, Dark World.
Dark World?
That's my opinion. I don't think it's the worst. It's still enjoyable. I enjoy it, but in terms of Marvel Cinematic Universe films, the worst. Okay.
You thought it was worse than Iron Man 2?
Yes, because Iron Man 2, you know what? I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I had fun with it.
Whiplash?
Whatever, man. Tony was funny. Hammer was great.
Yeah.
And I don't like how they got the whole War Machine, how they got War Machine into it.
Yeah.
That completely pissed me off. But besides that, I liked it.
Yeah.
So
before we get distracted too much, a couple other points on where the Marvel Universe goes from here. Another scene that we see at the end is old Cap giving the shield to Falcon.
Yeah.
Right? Something that I didn't think was going to happen because why wouldn't he give it to Bucky?
I can tell you right now. Easy. I think I got a simple answer for you.
Yes.
Bucky was a killer, man. I know he was brainwashed.
True.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But Captain America doesn't just represent Captain America. Captain America represents America. Okay? You get that shield. Sam is always...
You gotta have somebody who's
absolutely
clean.
Sam has always been
I can see
squeaky
that.
clean.
I can see that.
He was in the army.
Yes.
He taught. Remember those classes that wherever you want the in the beginning of the film where Captain America is doing that
little round circle. Yeah.
Sam was doing that when in Winter Soldier. That's how they met. He was doing those
That's true. Yeah.
So I didn't like it either, but you know what? The comics went that way, and here's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see that play out, man. They got their own series in Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So maybe eventually Bucky gets it. I think he will.
Yeah, or they use it in tandem.
They tandem the shield.
Yeah.
Because I am curious. Because remember, Sam's still human. He's not.
He doesn't have any serum.
He doesn't have any serum. He doesn't have. He's good with wings and guns. But how is he going to throw that shield? So we'll see that play out. That's what's great about what you're looking forward to. We're going to get to see that play out.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing the Disney Plus.
Yep.
Take my money, Disney. You sons of bitches.
So. Two other things that will be sparking or that will be coming soon. Setting up Gwyneth Paltrow, Pepper Potts, as Iron Man or Iron Woman, right?
It's not going to be Gwyneth Paltrow, though.
Who's going to
be? It's going to be Morgan. It's going to be their daughter.
Oh, yeah.
I think...
speaking of daughters, the Hawkeye training scene with his daughter.
I've been hearing that they're developing a series with that, too.
Of course,
so I think her.
He even calls her Hawkeye. Yeah.
They have set them. Kevin Feige, okay, is
the genius.
If I can pick to be
regardless
one person
of your thoughts on the movie, Kevin Feige knows how to
is
make
amazing,
money,
man.
basically.
Yeah. If I could be one person in this world, it would be Kevin Feige. Yeah. Just nerd me out. Let me develop these storylines. Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, now you have even more tie-in with X-Men licensing coming in.
Well, real quick.
Fantastic Four.
I'm telling you right now, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. is not done in the MCU. If he can create Ultron, if he can create all this technology, and you got a glimpse of it at the end of the film, his AI, he's there. He would be at least
recording, right?
Yeah. At least he's gonna be the voice, probably of Morgan.
Right?
At least his voice.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. I'm calling it right now. What's the time? What's the date? May 4th. All right, 2019. Robert Downey Jr. will be back.
At least in some capacity.
As
a Force Ghost, maybe. Frank, what are your thoughts on where does the Marvel Universe go from here?
All right, so quick thoughts on where I think it's going to go. We're going into Phase 4, all right?
Yep.
We now know that Disney owns Fox.
Yes.
That's done.
Yeah, 20th Century Fox. Whatever the division is that has X-Men and Fantastic Four.
I think, and it'll be really great, we're in Phase 4. Fantastic Four should be laid out. Somehow, Captain Marvel could probably bring them in, something with that.
Here's my problem. They've done Fantastic Four twice already now, and those movies suck.
But that's why they're terrible. They're one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Look at this.
I know.
Right? Comic book classic,
but
right?
now they're safely in the hands of their mommy and daddy.
Okay.
They're back with Marvel, okay?
Yeah.
And Kevin Feige's leadership. So I'm dying to see what screenwriters are going to bring in for that.
True.
It starts with the screenwriters.
Yes.
They're going to cast it well. They'll fit it in, okay? Who knows? Maybe Chris Evans will come back and play Human Torch. So but Kevin Feige did say that they have a 5-year plan, and that was before they got the rights back. So we might not see anything with X-Men. Don't expect to see anything with X-Men and Fantastic Four until probably 2023, 2024.
I was hoping that we would get at least a tease. Maybe in the movie they talk about the school for gifted students or something.
No, you know what? I'm glad they didn't because, Avengers Endgame. It was it. They didn't give a shit about X-Men, let's finish the story. Yes, I was maybe hoping for like a Galactus Cloud at the end, something like that. That would have been cool. They could have done that really quick through it. And
maybe like a Silver Surfer, streaking through space, something.
But I'm with you. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is what I'm looking forward to the most now, with Thor being there, seeing where they take seeing where they take that storyline. Black Panther 2, let's see where they take that. Because I don't know if you caught that. There's a little tease for Namor.
Oh, with the earthquake?
Yeah, there's an underwater earthquake that happened. They didn't just... They have a reason for mentioning everything, okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They mentioned Namor back in Iron Man 2.
Did they really?
All the way back when they were showing the map. There's a map that Fury's talking to, Tony Stark. There's other beings out there. They show Africa. They show this. They show Hawk, right? And they show a little plop in the water.
Did they really?
They did. Oh, okay. Go back and check it out. So that's why. That's why I think.
Well, especially after the success of Aquaman, I can't imagine that they wouldn't want to.
Definitely, they got their own
do their own version, right?
And what's cool about Namor, well, it's not cool. It sucks because the same thing with Hulk is that Universal owns the rights to Hulk and Namor. Mm-hmm. I still don't know why they made those deals, but those deals saved Marvel in the past, so I don't care. Yeah. I think he's going to show up in the next Black Panther 2. He's going to be some sort of probably an adversary at first, and then they become a team. That's going to be really cool to see. Yeah. So I think, with all that being said, I think we are looking bright for the future of Marvel, and I can't wait to see where they go.
All right, on to our next question. What is the best death scene or best death in Avengers Endgame? Surprisingly, in Avengers Endgame, we lost more main characters than in Game of Thrones. But, so, for the first time, I'll say, in a Disney movie, we lost more main characters than Game of Thrones. What is your best death in the movie, Frank?
All right, best death. And it's kind of hard to say best death, because no death is good.
Sure. Yeah, but some deaths are great.
Marvel, they teased us a lot with people dying and coming back. Coming back. Yes. They finally killed Quicksilver, right? And I was like, okay, because we didn't really care about Quicksilver.
No, he was introduced and killed in the same movie.
But when I actually remember seeing the original Avengers, right, and Tony went up into that space portal, and he almost didn't make it back. I thought he was gone. I was like, oh god,
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? They killed him. They killed him in this one, and
they did it right. Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.'s acting in this film and my love for the character combined, when he went out snapping his fingers, because he's always everyone always thought that he's a selfish guy.
Yes.
Never take one for a team. That was always Captain America's fight with him, right? He saved everybody by snapping that finger.
I thought for a split second, why didn't they just fight everybody now that they had the gauntlet?
I was going to bring that up.
But I guess it does make sense because you never know how those battles are going to go. Yeah. Better to just end it yourself.
I was going to say he's all 5 power 6 stones. Just that. All right.
Well, anyway, you don't know if he knew how to use it either, right?
But I just
two things about Tony Stark before you get into him dying.
Okay.
Number one, he's given a hint about possibility of how time travel can work, and he figures it out in a night.
He's Tony Stark, man.
Right. I would have liked if they maybe started it with right after Endgame, right after Infinity War ends.
Because I think
Ant-Man comes out and they work on it for 5 years. Right? That would have made more sense than Ant-Man coming. Tony, help me with time travel, and then he figures it out.
I think Ant-Man coming out though was given the final piece that he needed because I think he was working on it. He was working on it those whole 5 years secretly. He wasn't telling them.
Potentially,
he was definitely still working on it.
Potentially,
because I would only do it if I could come back. If I could come back to now and nothing's changed.
I would have liked if that was more directly stated instead of just. Oh, hey, I figured out time.
And I think we're gonna get that because.
I'm totally sure.
In the Blu-ray, we're probably going to get a lot of extra scenes. It's probably going to be a 4-hour movie. Anyway, going back.
The other thing that I was going to say about Tony Stark really quickly, Thor had to go to Tyrion Lannister to make the axe, right? Tyrion used the power of a dying star to make the Infinity Gauntlet. It was this magical thing that can hold the power of 6 Infinity Stones. Tony just makes some nanotech that can do the same exact shit and does it better.
I'm going to say it one more time, man. He's Tony Stark.
He's Iron Man.
That's why he's Iron Man. Right? He made nanotech suit, okay? Look at that thing. Yeah. He can forge anything out of that glove.
Yeah. Well, that's why, when he touched it,
it shot to him. Imagine. He was planning on that the entire time.
Brilliant. I just think that when you do that, you kind of undercut some of the other characters that you already established, right?
Sure.
So similarly,
little nitpicks here and there.
Similarly,
Overall,
Captain America getting Thor's hammer while in the theater, I was like, wait,
Yeah.
can he do that? Is that
Absolutely, he could.
I guess he's worthy.
And
you see also Thor saying,
Avengers Age of Ultron, man. They hinted that.
Yeah.
So it all came back to fruition.
Yeah.
So getting back to Tony Stark.
Yes, best death in the movie.
So, all right. When that happened, okay, and when they had Hulk do the snap, right, and you saw what it did to him. You saw in the beginning what it did to Thanos, right, first.
Yes.
Then you saw what it did to the Hulk. They were obviously teasing something.
Mm-hmm.
They did it perfectly. And here's why, okay? Tony Stark, once he did it, didn't stand a chance. He was done.
Yeah,
He was gone.
absolutely.
He wasn't even able to say a word, basically. He was done.
Yeah.
And Peter, the kid, Gwyneth Paltrow finally telling him, you don't have to worry about us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You did it.
Oh,
You did it.
yeah.
Going back to Iron Man 3. You know, it kind of made me like Iron Man 3 a little bit better. Iron Man 3 is just on a teeter-totter for me.
Yeah.
I only love it because of Robert Downey Jr. Anyway, a lot of issues with that film. Anyway, but, him having those dreams and him never wanting to quit, and then when him leaving for Infinity War.
Well, I think she said something like, you can rest now.
You can rest now.
Yeah.
Yes, because he doesn't have to worry. He
Yeah.
did it. He saved everybody. And again, I'm going to go back to Alan Silvestri's score.
Brilliant.
Oh my God. The way they filmed that funeral scene. It should have been more of a global thing. Because remember what Thanos said too in Infinity War when he goes, Tony, he goes, you know me? He goes, yeah, I'm cursed with knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. He goes, I'm gonna make sure they remember you, right? And they brought it back. They're all gonna remember Tony for what he did, for what he saved the universe by doing that, by getting rid of this Titan.
I thought one of the best lines of the movie was, I thought somebody comes up to Thanos and was like, you took everything from me. And he's like, I don't even know who you are.
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
That was a great scene, too. She got her revenge on her because she was overpowering him. He was done.
Yeah.
Rainfire.
Right.
So anyway.
I don't even know who you are.
Yeah. But yeah, just him, he barely lasted, right? Cap and Thor, they barely even got to say goodbye to him. But that, going to that scene and the water and showing everybody's going through the MCU timeline basically of every movie. They even had the kid from Iron Man 3. Did you know that?
Oh, that's him?
That's
okay. I was wondering who that one random kid was.
So,
yeah. Well, I liked the funeral scene, but here's what I don't like about Disney and this sort of shit. Sometimes things are a little bit too staged, and I wish it wouldn't have been like that because the camera movement was too smooth, going to these perfect little groups of like clusters of 3 or 4 people.
They was filmed separately. There was a green screen, man.
Oh yeah,
I don't think the actors knew who died. Really, they might not have known what happened.
But either way, it was just a little bit too staged. I would have liked if it was just maybe one pan over.
But here's the thing,
everybody.
By that time, Karim, I was already, and I mentioned this before, I was not tearing. Okay, I was not trying to hold it back. I was lip shaking. Okay, lip shit, like as if my own father passed away, and it was. I just thought back to all the moments that he had and all the great moments. The Iron Man 1, I am Iron Man. That was his last line of his life was I am Iron Man, basically.
Yeah.
And happy with that kid, with his kid, mentioning it was the most genuine reaction to her saying, I want a cheeseburger. He's like, you get all the cheeseburgers you want. Any cheeseburger, all the cheeseburgers you want. And it was just like, twist.
Yeah.
It felt it, man. I don't know. Black Widow, that I'll just mention real quick. I got spoiled for it, and that probably took me out of it a little bit. But you know what? She was always a loner. You didn't know her backstory, really.
I heard that she was going to get a standalone.
Yeah, she is going to get a standalone. It's going to be a prequel.
It's still happening.
It's kind of funny.
Maybe during the 5 years.
It's kind of funny what Disney did. They kill Han Solo.
Yeah.
Solo movie. Kill Black Widow.
Prequel. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I think there's also going to be a Hawkeye series or a Hawkeye movie.
Yeah. Hawkeye with kid. But still, that's easily why that death stuck with me.
Yeah.
So
for me, I'm going to go back to it's also my favorite scene in the movie, Thanos V1, right? Because he's just sitting there. He's got the scar on his face. You're thinking, there's about to be a fight really going on. Our next question.
Yeah.
Was Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet overpowered?
I
And
think
here's why I bring it up. Thanos, yes, fought in a fist fight with the Hulk. Let him have his fun, right? Beat the Hulk down. Smacked the Hulk right out of Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
But at the end of Infinity War, you see Thor almost match up to him 1v1 with the Stormbreaker cutting through
With
all
all 6 stones.
With all 6
Cut
stones.
right through that power.
Right?
Yeah.
Gets in right here, should have aimed for the head.
Yeah.
Anyway, in this movie, you see Thanos without any of the stones and his really cool kind of double lightsaber. Yeah.
It's fucking badass.
Fighting Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor simultaneously.
It was a fat Thor, though.
I mean, I think if anything, that might make him more powerful, right?
Nah, I don't think so.
He's still
A little slower. Okay.
Right? So, was he overpowered? Was he correctly powered? What do you think?
I think Thanos is a being without the stone. Forget about the gauntlet, right? He has always been one of the most powerful creatures, villains in the universe. Okay.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
He's a mad titan. He's huge. He's powerful. Mm-hmm. He's an amazing, skillful fighter.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, even in that Hulk fight, you could, just his movements, right? Mm-hmm. I love how they gave him like perfect boxing movements, right? And Hulk was just like that. So yeah, I mean, I thought he was powered perfectly. Yes, I do agree. Like he should have been able to, because those 3 he was able to take on, right? Mm-hmm. But then when Scarlet Witch completely overpowered him. I mean, she was crushing him.
Yeah.
He needed to help. He needed to rain fire. And then when Captain Marvel came, he was done.
Almost, yeah.
The only way he got away from Captain Marvel was when he snuck a Power Stone away and smacked her.
Yeah.
Right? So, he was younger. I know people are going to debate this for a long time.
Yes.
I agree. They should have taken care of him like that. Okay? I definitely agree. But the fight was great. Choreography was awesome. And this is kind of funny. This kind of gets me. I don't know if you remember when they were trying to get the gauntlet to the van.
Yes. That was probably the best part of the whole fight sequence.
Captain Marvel is supposed to be like the speed of light.
Is she? I don't know about the speed of light, but she's
traveling through space and time, going through. He takes his sword and throws it
at the van.
Zips right by Captain Marvel, no problem.
Uh-huh.
That was probably the only thing that was like, I was really like, really, man? and you're right. Why couldn't he just take Stormbreaker and just do the same thing again?
Yeah,
because he doesn't have any beam to stop it.
Yeah.
So yes, they had to make him formidable. Excuse me. There was other things happening. War, people fighting around him, distraction.
Yeah.
Listen, whatever. I think. All right. Yeah. If you're asking a question, was he too powerful? Probably.
I think that's part of the question. Was he too powerful? To be honest with you, I thought that, given the premise of what was set up in Infinity War, that all the Avengers together, all of their armies with Captain Marvel, she even says it, before you didn't have me, right?
She's a badass.
I thought they should have overpowered him kind of easier.
Yeah, the second she got there, she destroyed the ship.
Yeah, so that was my qualm. My other thing was that although the last action sequence was great, and we got a great view of it. I love the camera movement kind of going through the battle, and then you're trying to get to the van, and then you end up like on Pegasus, and you're flying through, and then you go back. That was really beautiful. Awesome. It takes so much work to have that work well. But I would have preferred seeing more of just a straight up fight. Yeah. And I think that DC still does their fight scenes better than Marvel does.
Really?
I will say that.
Okay.
So, because say what you will about Zack Snyder, he can do fight scenes. So,
for sure.
I thought that
Batman scene for sure.
Yeah. So I thought that while the scene was great, it was a bit too Disney-fied. I felt like I was going on a roller coaster through the scene, kind of seeing the different parts, and then we're out of it.
I mean, if you're talking about the entire sequence in whole, like with the other
Just more
was
towards like the
definitely
very
like-
end, where it's just the larger armies, and you kind of have to have like a second for each character. Oh, Black
Yeah.
Panther's here. Oh, this
Everybody
person's here.
definitely got their shot.
Right? Everyone got
I
their
don't know
shot.
if you know, even Howard the Duck got his
Yeah,
shot.
right, yeah, absolutely.
He's in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
This is kind of a side note. Apart from Thanos being OP, what did you think about Professor Hulk?
I'm glad you brought that up because I did
Yes.
want to talk about Professor Hulk. And I just got done watching Thor Ragnarok before we filmed this.
Yeah.
And, Feige always said, starting in Age of Ultron, really, is his Hulk's story arc. It's his movie, right?
Okay.
Because they can't do a separate
they can't
movie
do it.
without Universal.
No.
I liked it.
I loved it.
I didn't like it at first.
Yeah.
It was
strange. Well, because the Hulk wasn't in the whole
Right.
Infinity War.
It was
jaw,
a little jaw dropping a little bit, like,
Yeah.
huh? Wait, what? I mean,
Yeah.
I knew about the Great Hulk, and I knew, maybe, and I like what they did when he talked to the Ancient One, how he separated him out.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was gonna make them separate or something like that. Maybe put two. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
now they have two. Because they did something like that in the comics, but after watching, because he was a rampaging monster in Age of Ultron, right?
Yeah.
And he couldn't be controlled,
Or even in the first Avengers.
Yeah. He was right. Stairs, stairs. That was awesome, by the way. Come on. Anyway,
I think Hulk had some of the funniest scenes. in the movie,
he's
right?
great.
Well, the stairs one, and also when he's in New York, he's like, It's also when he's at the coffee shop and the kids come. Yeah, Hulk.
It just the story arc they did. It made sense because he ultimately was the one who was able to do the snap, right?
Yeah.
A bumbling dumb Hulk wouldn't be able to do that, right? That was the key plot point for his character, but I thought it was great. Bruce Banner always struggled with, do I hold the anger in? Do I let him out? And he's like, you know what? I need to let him be free, and they combined their minds. I liked it. I liked it. I was hoping for ever since that first scene in Infinity War, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm waiting for Infinity War. He's gonna come.
When is Hulk gonna come?
Here he's gonna come.
Yep.
Right. And all right, fine. He didn't do it. That's fine. Endgame. He's gonna do something. He's gonna be the one that kills Thanos.
If you would have asked me before the movie, I would have said that we are going to see Hulk come out in the last third of the movie as some sort of pivotal moment, right?
And he kind of was, but in a completely
different
and
way.
that's what was so. I'll explain more of my final thoughts, but that was more why there's so many twists and turns in this movie I didn't see coming, man. I didn't see coming. Of course, I got spoiled, but still, I liked it. So
yep. So moving on to our next question, Frank. In terms of the MCU, where does Endgame rank for you?
All right, so right now it ranks third for me. Before the original Avengers was always my number one. Okay. But Infinity War definitely surpassed that after this year of watching it and over again.
Yeah.
So number one, Infinity War. Number two, the original Avengers. I'm never going to forget that feeling I had in the theater watching Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man for the first time on screen. Yep. X-Men was something different. I didn't really like the way they did that.
Well, I remember the hype before that movie.
Yeah.
It was the first time they were all kind of
Sure.
coming together and collaborating.
Yeah, it just wasn't my X-Men, right? And then the way they set it up with the Avengers, with having Iron Man and then having Captain America and Thor.
Yep.
It was just so awesome. I couldn't wait for them to see him on the screen. So that's why Avengers is so high up for me. But Endgame is number 3 for me. Okay, number 4, the original Iron Man.
Love that.
I love
the
this
one that
character.
started it all.
Love this character so much. I love everything to do with that. Him making that suit, his personality.
Yep.
I mean, they were writing that movie as it was going, and it's just incredible.
Yep.
Number 5, Thor Ragnarok. What Taika Waititi did to that, he restored that franchise.
Absolutely.
The Dark World
Absolutely.
was terrible. Thor deserved better. They finally got Chris Hemsworth came into his own. He's a comedic, not genius, but he's
got the comedic chops.
He's got comedic chops, and they brought that out of him. And Taika Waititi was a perfect person to do that.
Yeah.
The colors in that,
the whole scheme, the pacing,
bringing Hulk in that,
Jeff
awesome.
Goldblum.
Oh god. Number 6 was Guardians of the Galaxy. Man, what a fun film! What a risky film. That was Marvel's biggest risk. No one knew who the hell. I mean, Chris Pratt wasn't big at the time,
is, right?
but no one knew who these guys were. Talking Raccoon.
It also adds one of the best bits in all the Avengers movies nowadays is Groot, right?
Groot, yeah.
I am Groot. Wow, language.
It's so great.
I am Groot. That's why you don't like hats?
Not just that running gag, but how about Rocket's
Rocket and then his like
the eyeball,
the
arm. I'm gonna get that arm. The leg, right? So number 7, Winter Soldier. A lot of people say Captain America: Winter Soldier was the greatest film in the MCU.
A lot of people love that.
Awesome spy movie and
well, I love the
double
callback
crossing.
to it in this movie. Where it's like
the elevator scene.
Oh no, I'll take one on this. Hail Hydra. Right? Great.
Perfect.
Great.
I was like, they're doing this again.
Yeah.
No. Hail Hydra. That's America's
sense.
ass. Anyway.
America's ass.
So this is America. So 6 Guardians of the Galaxy, 7 Winter Soldier, 8 Civil War. Civil War, and when I initially saw Civil War, listen, I just love all these characters together. Yeah. I didn't care if it was called Captain America or Avengers. I didn't give a shit. Yep. Avengers 2.1 people called that movie. Yeah. That airport scene. Fantastic. That 12-minute airport scene was phenomenal.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, that was the introduction of Spidey.
Our introduction of Spidey, and that brings me to number 9, which is Spider-Man for Homecoming. I thought, they brought it back to our high school Peter Parker. Yep. Not old looking. He's scared. He's a kid trying to get through school. He just wants to get an A on a test, and he's dealing with Spider-Man. And I love the Iron Man mentor they did with him. People are complaining. People are complaining about the Stark suit tech. I love it, man. That Iron Man suit, what they did with him was perfect. Made sense.
It complements Tom Holland as Spider-Man well.
Yes. Yeah. And then number 10, I'm just gonna go through 10. Number 10 was the original Thor. I don't think that movie gets a lot of credit, to be honest. I think bringing him back to Earth, making him human, and his struggles with his brother, really, it really told a great story with Thor.
Yep. And love Natalie Portman in that as well. Yep.
So that's my ranking. What about you, Karen?
Cool. So for me, my number 1 is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
Well, let me preface this a little bit. So after these 22 movies, I'm getting a little bit of comic book fatigue because there's also the DC movies. There's also
I'm not, but some people say
a little bit, right? Well, maybe more.
And obviously, the audiences aren't.
No. Well, this is about to make $2 billion, right? Clearly, people are still watching. But for me, I'm getting a little bit of comic book fatigue. I think what it is more is that I'm becoming a comic book movie snob.
Sure.
And that a movie has to live up to a certain level or a certain expectation, and if it doesn't meet that, then I'm disappointed. If it surpasses it, then I'm pleasantly surprised. So it's been a while since I've been pleasantly surprised by a movie. Guardians of the Galaxy was the last movie I remember watching and being wowed by. Okay. I remember walking out of the theater, I was like, "This is the best movie I've ever seen.
It was so funny.
Movie I've ever seen." Perfect with the comedic chops. Chris Pratt, fantastic. The whole opening sequence where he's singing, dancing. I love how they come back to it in this one, right? So he's an Indian, right? Brilliant. Yeah. So Guardians of the Galaxy, number 1 for me. Infinity War is number 2. Loved that. It was a different take. It was Thanos' kind of story that it ended differently than any other Marvel movie. 3 for me is going to be Ragnarok. 4, Civil War. 5, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Loved it. Love that they're bringing James Gunn back for Volume 3, which will now have Thor. Ragnarok, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 all have that same sort of vibe, pacing, that electric sort of space feel. I love that space is now
that
part of it,
Volume
right?
2, though, they almost made it, they made Drax like just a joke. I mean,
every one in the movie was kind of a joke. But it was still hilarious. 6 for me was Doctor Strange.
Loved it.
7, Winter Soldier. 8, the original Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton.
A lot of people have that ranked low.
Really?
Oh yeah. I've had another podcast where they had it like number 20 or something.
Really? Yeah. Well, for me, Edward Norton is one of my favorite actors.
I wish he stayed.
He can't really do no wrong. I would have loved to have seen Edward Norton in the Avengers.
Love Mark
Ruffalo. Edward Norton.
Edward Norton.
It's fucking Edward Norton.
He was Bruce Banner.
All right, the movie was great.
Yeah.
9 is the original Iron Man.
Okay.
10 Avengers, and coming in just outside my top 10 is Endgame at number 11. So Infinity War I can have on any time. Endgame is kind of heavy.
Yeah.
So
no, it is. You're right. It's not like you're gonna turn that on and you're like, oh, it starts off all sour. People are dying.
I know. Yeah.
But that's why Infinity War is number 1 for me. It's just like nonstop action. Exactly. A group of characters, the
pacing
colors,
is tight.
Thanos.
Yes.
So understood there.
So that's Yeah, Endgame. Yeah. Again, I enjoyed it. Maybe it didn't live up to the expectations that I thought it was going to.
And I'm gonna cheat real quick. I mean, I did the best Marvel movie is the entire overarching story they did, and culminating with Endgame. So. Yeah.
So this brings us to our last question, Frank. Final thoughts? Anything that we haven't discussed so far?
Yeah. Final thoughts. I mean, what a way to bring these 22 films to an end.
Together, absolutely.
Yes, there's probably some tiny things I would have done differently, but overall, it was 3 hours, but to me, it didn't feel long. To me, it felt like I wanted more. It felt an easy 3 hour watch for me. Yes, the doom and gloom in the beginning, but they had to do that. They had to go through that. Mm-hmm. You knew they had to go through that. I was actually looking forward to that, seeing how everybody was reacting. I liked the 5 year later aspect of it. Butters. It really brought you down to reality. Like Thanos really did win for a long period of time. Mm-hmm. I like that they didn't just get over it right away. Okay, it didn't take them 2 months to get over it. Mm-hmm. It took everybody changed. Yeah. Everyone went their own direction in 5 years. The acting. I'm going to reiterate this again. The acting. Robert Downey Jr. deserves an Oscar nom for this. Okay, maybe not a win, but an Oscar nomination. They deserve more nods than just special effects in this. Scarlett Johansson they all brought their A game in this movie. The storyline, Marcus and McFeely between Infinity War and Endgame, to be able to bring this overarching story, these 22 films, to a conclusion, to me, a satisfying conclusion, was a task all to itself. Kevin Feige deserves I don't know if they have lifetime achievement.
Oh, I'm sure he's getting paid.
Some sort of, I don't care about him getting paid. Yeah. He's getting paid.
Yeah.
He needs some award. He needs a recognition. He needs something to show.
I think he gets the recognition.
He will.
Yeah.
You felt the stakes in this. The score again. This score brought me to tears. It brought me up.
When some poignant moments in the movie.
We didn't talk about when Cap got his Avengers Assemble.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He finally said it. They teased it in every Avengers film, and they finally said it. That was it was just great. The Russo brothers, fantastic job putting this film together, and Infinity War, and Civil War, and Winter Soldier. These guys were comedic television directors. Yeah. And Feige's like, I want these two. Yep. How did he know that they can accomplish this?
So what would you put it as out of 10?
So out of 10, I know this is just whatever, but to me, it's a perfect film. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 because it's the only film. It's the only type of film where you can cheat, right? I am bringing Infinity War into that, right? I'm bringing what happened in Infinity War into my satisfaction of Endgame and where that brought me to, where the story came, and you're allowed to cheat in these MCU films. Sure. So that's the universe they created. But a film, it's a 10 out of 10, man. How about you?
Well, for me,
not 10 out of 10. Okay.
These are my final thoughts on the movie. I thought the beginning was overly long. I could have dealt with less of the doom and gloom, especially given that everyone was going to get snapped back, pretty much. Yeah. And
you knew that was going to happen. Right?
I would have liked seeing a little bit more permanence and a little more consequence, especially after Thanos did what he did in the last movie, snapped out half of existence, right? I thought that was a huge accomplishment, right? The stakes were...
You didn't want to see time travel, like you said before.
The stakes were massive in Infinity War, and the stakes didn't feel as real in this movie, given that we were given this Deus Ex Machina time travel, right? Mm-hmm. You could just go back and... we're just going to go back and fix it, right? With a time machine that Tony invented in a night. Right, so
it took him 5 years to create.
The whole time heist sequence of the middle of the movie where they're going back to 2012 and 2014. I don't give a shit about 2012, right? I mean, when they saw it, I was like, okay, this is interesting, but I couldn't help but think, what's going on in terms of time, right? Yeah. Now you're opening up a completely different can of worms with alternate universes, and I would have liked a more linear story. So part of my disdain, admittedly, is that things didn't go according to my expectations. When I rewatch it, I'll probably like it a little bit more than I did the first time.
Just put on that last hour, man.
Oh yeah, no, you have to take the movie as a whole, right? So were there great moments? Yes. Did all of those moments add up to a satisfying meal at the end of it? No, I don't think so. So for me, out of 10, I'd like to give it a 6.9.
What?
Maybe I mean maybe a 7, but I want to just throw a little jab in there, 6.9, just so it's not.
Now, you've seen it once, right?
1.5 times.
Okay,
But,
I'm curious when you see it again.
Yeah.
Watch it again. Get back to me. Let
Yeah.
me know what you
Yeah,
feel.
I
So
will.
let me know if your
I
score
will.
changed a little bit. I know I'm giving it a perfect score. Maybe in reality it's like a 9.8, but that's
Sure.
still close to a 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had to give a lot of fan service to this film, and they rewarded the viewer, us, for watching these movies for the past 12 years.
Absolutely.
Okay? And that's why
that's
why their story went back to the Avengers.
Do I think
to
that they
Dark
wrapped
World?
up
Who
all
gives
of
a shit about the
of
Dark
course.
World? And I actually want to watch it again just to see.
Do I think that they wrapped up everything
Yeah.
very neatly? Yes. Do I think that they set themselves up for future movies well? Yes. Do I think that the movie had great moments and did it work in the context of the movie and in the context of Avengers and the Marvel Universe? Yes. Would I have liked it to be a little bit different? Yes.
Okay.
So,
Hey man, that's the beauty about movies, man. Every movie's subjective. I practically gave it a perfect score. You're at a C, but that's why movies are subjective, and that's why people love them for different things.
I liked it. Could have been better in my
Okay,
opinion.
understand, man.
So
Well, this was fun.
this is Frank and Karim Talk Film, and we'll see you next time.
Take it easy.
Later.